Okay, this is a day 12 supplemental. And I've been able to reconstruct, like a CSI investigator here, I've been able to reconstruct the sequence of events that took place. Yep, it was the infamous 3 p.m. phase. I don't know why the mind chose 3 p.m. to be doing this, but it did. This was supposed to be the phase where I break it. I mean, this is, and I was doing just exactly that. And it struck at the most vulnerable time to hurt me the most. That's what it did. So, here's a series of events. I successfully woke up for my 11 a.m., which is 11:30 a.m. So I successfully woke up, turned off the alarm. The way that I turn off the alarm is I put a headphone jack into the audio port on the front of the comp. And what it does is that takes that loud alarm and makes it go away. Then I did. I stood up. I walked to the bathroom. I washed my face with cold water. I came walking back in. And I plugged in the keyboard. The keyboard was unplugged. So I plugged it in to turn off the alarm. And I fell asleep. No warning. I mean, the boogeyman was there. It was obvious the boogeyman was there. It's always there. I mean, basically, when you're first waking up. But, and it felt like it was going to be a heavy boogeyman, but and, so I basically had sat down just enough to be able to plug in a keyboard, click a button, click another button, and fall asleep before I could plug in the mouse. Because the next step in the process is to plug in the mouse. In fact, I wasn't even able to stay awake long enough to, because I'm either going to plug in the mouse or I'm going to unplug the headphones from the jack, which, by the way, that needs to be the next action. It needs to be done immediately because in that particular state, the alarm is essentially disabled. And my roommate even came in here looking for me and saw that I was asleep and walked out. Thought it was like a scheduled sleep or something because there was no alarm. That's why, because the headphone jack was in the computer when I fell asleep. Right after I clicked off the alarm on my keyboard, and all of a sudden it just knocked out, and I didn't have time to plug in the mouse or unplug it. But it should be, as far as security goes, I mean, it should be like those keys they have for nuclear bombs or something, where you have to like put in a key and then turn it, and then someone else has to come over and put in a key and turn it or something, like the show on TV or whatever. Because it's because I already know as soon as you turn off the alarm, you get up. Okay, that's already established. That's been going on effortlessly, basically, so it's fine. The other thing is, I mean, obviously, the key that this boogeyman is focusing on is subconscious. No, the special forces boogeyman is focusing on the specific time when I sit back down after washing my face. Okay, no, this is different. So this is indeed after washing my face, coming back, having walked around and everything. I sat down, plugged in my keyboard, clicked a button, clicked another button. Before I could click any button, more buttons, or do anything else, I fell asleep. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, it means that I also not only did I do that, which was going to be at about 11:35 p.m. A.m. I mean, that was about 11:35 a.m. But because that headphone jack was plugged into the computer, that absolutely killed me. And that's not supposed to be happening. I mean, um, that's supposed to be handled, okay? But this is one weird freaking thing. Close the door, please. Thanks. And I ended up waking up at 5:30 p.m. The alarm was ringing into the headphones, so nobody heard it. Yeah. Only the keyboard was plugged in, not the mouse. So that's how I know I fell asleep right in the middle of that. So what it represents is a 6-hour oversleep. So I missed the 15:30 alarm again because it was ringing into the headphones. Um, so it would have been a 3-hour oversleep if the headphone jack had been unplugged. I mean, basically, then the way the security procedure will run is when coming back from washing the face, okay, you walk over to the computer, okay, before sitting down, you plug in the keyboard and the mouse before sitting down. And then once you've plugged in the keyboard and the mouse, you're standing up, plugged in the keyboard and mouse. You then unplug the headphones. Now the alarm will be ringing. Okay, and then you basically go over to the mouse or keyboard and shut off the alarm. Okay, so this way you're not sitting down while the headphones are still plugged in case something should happen. Okay, and that should take care of that vulnerability. Okay, as far as oversleeping the 3:30 alarm by 2 hours. Kind of funny though. I woke up at my scheduled time. Woke up at 5:30. No way, that's not right. I would have been 3:30. Right. All right. Woke up at 5:30. All right. Well, anyway. Okay, that's the first thing. Uh, Removing the vulnerability surrounding the um, headphones. Um, that's great, but then the equivalent is going to be sitting down, falling asleep, waking up. Instead of a 6-hour oversleep, it would actually be um, a 4-hour oversleep. So I lost 2 extra hours because of the stupid headphone jack. So now I know how to handle the headphone jack, and that won't be the issue. Issue is that dang 3 p.m. phase knocked me out of the air. Before that, on day 12, this day 12 supplemental, I had 3 greens, no oversleeps, nothing bad to report. Continued to break that 3 a.m. phase is not an issue. Broke, basically not broke, but basically cleared through that 7 a.m. and 11 a.m. phase to where we had no sleeps 24 hours prior. Okay, those are clear. Hit the 3 p.m. and bam, that's what happened. Never experienced anything like that before. I know that I'm sure that those no sleeps must have had something to do with it. I gotta figure. That's a dense, very dense area of no sleeps over here. Um, man. Anyway, I'm still gonna take my 7 p.m. nap. Hopefully, I can get to sleep. Because the number one thing on an oversleep, this is, and I not really an oversleep. It is more. It is actually still in the category of a nod off, but overslept an entire sleep period. Wake up. I was like, dang. So it's all right. So the number one method of dealing with an oversleep, of course, is to pretend like it never happened and just keep going and take a long-sighted view. I remember Aya's reports, and she had a similar circumstance like this where she lost entire chunks of time and was exercising without knowing it and stuff, weird stuff like that. Um, but she persevered through. Got past her 30 days and said it was totally worth it, and don't give up no matter what because it's gonna it's gonna work. Okay, so okay, so I mean that's where I'm running, and like I said, ignoring this thing, just starting. I mean, not ignoring. I now have new security procedures in place for when I come back to washing my face. I'm not going to sit down until I've plugged in the mouse, the keyboard, and unplugged those stupid headphones. Um, yeah, little convenient tool there that just basically can really wreck you if you don't. I mean, you literally we're talking about a matter of seconds, but in that matter of seconds, it's the most vulnerable time, and it nailed me. I mean, that's like if you want to nail me at the most vulnerable time, that's it, right there. Or immediately when I wake up, I mean, it'd be like, I'm up, yay, and then just fall asleep. I mean, I mean that's the most vulnerable point right there. But other than that, you nailed me right when it was because I had to turn off the alarm first and then fall asleep. But anyway, so all right, and then it's just like thumbing its nose at me because what did I do? I washed my face. I walked back. I'm sitting there. Here I am conquering the 3 p.m. phase. Uh, Unbelievable. All right, so if there's anything eventful to report for day 12, which is 2 more phases, it's basically the 7 p.m. phase and the 11 p.m. phase. Anything to report there, I'll do a proper day 12 summary. Otherwise, the next update is going to be day 13.